Okay, let's have some. I'm here this morning with Faye, and we are having a great time because look, Faye's on the beach this morning.
The virtual beach.
The virtual beach. And don't you love our glasses? Don't you love our glasses?
Yeah. We match.
We match. I'm actually meeting Faye for the first time today.
Mhm.
And for people who don't know me, I'm Robert Mandelson, the creator and facilitator of powerful play experiences, positive workplace mental health for teens. And I've asked the awesome Faye Boer, is that the correct pronunciation of your name?
Well, it's like the Boer War. Boer.
Like the Bora Bora.
No, the Boer War.
Oh, the Boer War.
In South Africa. Yeah.
Which we're gonna table this morning and not get.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Don't talk about that. Now, apparently, Faye, you own a book publishing company.
Yes, I do. I own Folklore Publishing and been in business for 21 years.
Folklore Publishing.
That's right.
Years.
That's my company.
Oh, that's your company.
That's right. I also have dealings with Lone Pine Publishing, Companies Coming, and several other book publishing companies that are all under the umbrella, well, the distributorship of Canada Book Distributors.
So you said Companies Coming, which everybody should know.
They should all know Lone Pine Publishing too.
Yes, they kind of go hand in hand. And
yes, books and nature books.
So it's fair to say that you are a book publishing expert.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hold on.
Wait a minute.
We want to give you a big boom whacking hand and a flower today.
Oh, great.
Well,
I like your flower.
You're a book publishing expert and 21 years. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And you've made it through COVID.
Yeah. That's the other reason I'm on the beach, because I haven't been able to get to a beach in 2 years.
Wow. So, but you're a skier apparently and a runner.
Yes.
And you ski and you also run in the winter time.
I do. I ran all this winter, rain, shine, snow, or 30 below.
So would you say that are you a marathon runner, long distance runner?
No. I used to do half marathons, but I'm too old for that now.
Well, I want to say you rock. You totally rock. Anyone who runs in the blistering cold weather of Edmonton, Alberta.
Yeah, it was tricky this year.
So
especially the snow, the melting, the ice. Yeah, just yeah. And now puddles, big puddles.
So tell me your worst day when you were running, and whether it was the ice, the snow, the puddles. What was your worst day?
Worst day?
Running.
Oh, yeah, the ice for sure. I mean, I run, my shoes have spikes on them, but when the ice is just like black ice, flat and glare, and especially when it's got that little bit of snow over it, you can't see it.
Yes.
It's just like, yep.
Was that one of those, your worst day? Was that one of those days?
Yes.
Oh no. Yeah. Were you okay when you fell? Were you okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're okay.
Mostly. Yeah, it's it's one of the things you deal with if you run in the winter, for
Well,
sure.
happy to hear you're okay.
Oh yeah,
You know,
my
and
hand still hurts from landing on it. But
well,
oh,
take care of your hands.
yeah, I will.
My
That's
wife,
because it's the one I write with.
and the one you write with, but
Yes.
apparently
Oh,
Faye, you noted before that you're in the book publishing company, but you don't write books.
no, I don't write books. No,
You
that's
edit.
not what a publisher does.
Oh,
They get other people to write.
write books. Okay. And you tell them where their writing is correct and incorrect.
Yes.
So either you bring joy to the writer or you crush their soul. You crush their soul.
I try not to crush people's souls, but sometimes, just can't help it.
I brought you here today because you definitely don't crush people's soul. And I know that simply by being in your great energy before we hit the record button and now. And I know that you don't crush people's souls through conversations with Rochelle. And who is
One
Rochelle?
of our newest employees.
Yes, one of your newest employees. And what role does Rochelle play in supporting folklore publishing?
And all the other publishers.
And all the other publishing, yes.
Yeah. Rochelle is a designer. She designs our books and lays them out. So when I get a book from an author, basically it's just text.
Yes.
And then another file with pictures. So Rochelle is one of the people that puts the book together with the text and the pictures to make it look cool and beautiful, like a real book.
Yes, yes. And she is phenomenal at this thing called design or graphic design. And you've had great experiences with her in this very short block of time that she's been a new staff member.
Yeah, she's been with us since November.
Wow, and I've only known of Rochelle for about a month now, but I learned that she was instrumental in designing the Create the Ripple magazine, March 2021, which was all about men and mental wellness. So when I connected with Rochelle for the first time, she said, hey, it's March. It's the 1-year anniversary of the magazine that I designed, Rochelle said. And so I've seen her great work. And, she speaks so highly of you.
Thank you.
Yes. And she speaks so highly of the culture or work environment that is folklore publishing. And so for the audience, if anybody is watching today with Faye and I, we're here to talk about positive mental health at work or positive workplace mental health, because it's my impression after speaking to Rochelle, and clearly after meeting you, Faye, here this morning, you're all over the idea of positive mental health at work, but you may not use that language, positive mental health at work. But clearly through my conversations with Rochelle and meeting you this morning, I'll bet you that you create a very positive environment for people to work in, where they feel mentally at ease, mentally comfortable, mentally motivated, mentally happy. Do you think it's fair to say that?
Well, I like to think so. I mean, of course, as a group of people, mental health kind of goes up and down depending on what's happening in their personal lives
Yes.
and what's happening in their professional lives. So sometimes the personal life encroaches on the professional life. So we try to support those things that are happening with people, like their children and schooling and their pets and their spouses and their, it's just, we like people to feel like they can not bring their problems to work, but that they don't have to feel uncomfortable letting us know what's happening in their lives so that we can accommodate that. This year, it's been a real struggle with people getting ill, sometimes with COVID, sometimes not. You know, there's car trouble, there's pet trouble. We've had a lot of pet trouble lately. I'm not sure why, but you know, as an employer, we want to be able to support people,
Wow.
not just in their jobs,
Yes.
but in other parts of their lives as well.
And you rock. You totally rock. And I knew coming here today that you would be able to, with great ease, talk about the awesomeness that is you and the way you organize work for the staff, right? By considering what takes place in work, but also what takes place in life, And that was the purpose of asking Faye to join us today. I often meet organizations, large and small, who are not quite there yet in applying practices around positive mental health at work. So I wanted to invite Faye here today as an incredible, awesome, wonderful example of how Folklore Publishing, Faye's company for now 21 years, creates positive mental health at work without even using the words mental health. And that's the genius that is you, because we don't have to apply the language of mental health. What we have to apply is we have to start doing or creating an environment that feels right, that feels good, that feels positive. And if you're doing it without even talking about mental health. Way to go, Faye. Way to go, Faye. And any thoughts on that?
Well, I guess we consider our staff, I don't even like to call them staff, because really they're our family.
Wow.
You know, for 7-8 hours a day, 5 days a week, we are together. And right now there are 6 of us in a separate space from the rest of the office. And like I said, during COVID, it was just, everybody was at home, and it just didn't feel right, because we have, there's a synergy in our editorial and production. We call it the creative department. That during COVID, it just wasn't there. It just felt so disconnected. But now we're all in one space, and that has made a huge difference for everyone.
Wow.
But like I said, we're more like a family or a group of friends that just kind of coalesce.
Yeah. You kind of hang out together.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we don't hang out together much after work,
Right.
but we do things like celebrate birthdays. I hate to say this, but we have a swear jar. And when there's enough money in the swear jar, we have a little celebration. And yeah, it's we just all get along really well. Everybody is a contributor
Wow.
to the products we are producing, and it's just a really great atmosphere.
And I want to give credit to you. You're so humble, you are. But just for a moment, just let me give credit to you. I have worked for organizations that just don't get it. They just don't get it. Faye, you get it. You totally get it, right? And you know, the people who work together at Folklore Publishing need not necessarily get together outside of work, because there's so much fun at work during the day, and you're so connected at work. And as you said before, you're very much respective of the balance of what takes place in people's lives at work and after work. So all this great energy that's going on during the workday, you're very intentional in ensuring that those things happen. And you probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, you probably don't wake up every day with an agenda or a strategy in mind. It just flows from who you are. Am I correct on that?
Oh yeah. Every time I have an agenda, nothing good happens in it. So I never can quite complete that. But as far as having an agenda for a positive workplace, no, I don't. I just hope that the people around me are, doing their work, and sometimes they have fun doing their work, and sometimes they're so frustrated they just want to throw the computer across the room. But that's just all in a day's work, really.
And that's the humbleness that is you. You don't necessarily arrive with an agenda or an intention. Look, I spent just under a half hour with you, and I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm enjoying your company. And I assume that those things happen in your workplace simply because the workplace environment is just an extension of who you are, the awesomeness that is you. And you're so humble that
You're going to give me a big head and I'll lose my humbleness.
Well, I have big hats for big heads, but I appreciate your humbleness. And I just wanted to give that compliment to you. And you get it, You're just be Faye, and good things will happen in the workday. And I'll bet you even hire people who you feel will come together very well,
Absolutely. That is very important.
How come?
Well, like I said, there's the production and layout people like Rochelle and our head designer, Greg. They have to be able to get along with our editors because they work very closely together. So they have to be in tune, I guess, with each other. And, of course, we have our little conflicts or whatever, but that never really lasts very long. And it doesn't really affect the whole, I guess, I don't know what to call it. I keep using the word synergy because that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And you're very, you're very, that's something you are attentive to. That's is the good, synergy. There's a crazy word, synergy.
Yes.
Can you see what's in front of us right here?
Yep.
I'm not sure if those who are watching today can actually see this, but as long as you and I can see it, I'll explain it to those who are watching today. Okay, we'll take another 5 minutes. I want to also acknowledge you, Faye, for something that you're doing right. Another thing that you're doing right. There's something out there. There's something out there called the 13 factors for psychological health and safety in the workplace. Or more simply put, if you give attention to very specific 13 factors in your workplace environment and give attention to that and work towards giving attention to those 13 factors, you're pretty much guaranteed that you are implementing a positive workplace mental health or positive mental health at work. And these aren't just any 13 factors. These are 13 factors that have been organized, researched, designed by the Mental Health Commission of Canada, the Canadian Mental Health Association, and Workplace Strategies for Mental Health, amongst many other very significant players. And so I want you to know that I think that you are doing very well at implementing some or most of these 13 factors. Again, unintentionally, right? Just being you and creating that environment around who you are. And let's take a quick look at them. And as we quickly go through the 13 factors, think of one or two that you think best exemplifies your work environment, the awesome, positive workplace mental health environment that you've created. And the first factor is balance. Our second factor is civility and respect. And we're going to go through them quickly. Our third one is clear leadership and expectations. Engagement. Growth and development. Involvement and influence. Organizational culture. Protection of physical safety. Psychological and social support. Psychological demands. Psychological protection. Recognition and reward. Workload management. And there's the 13 factors. Was there any one that caught your attention that you can reference and say, yeah, that's totally us?
I think organizational support and psychological and social protection,
Let's take
engagement for sure. We have to engage with each other and with the larger group, which is Canada Book Distributors. We need to understand where people are coming from and in their personal lives, because you can't help bring what's happening in your personal life. You can't help bringing it to work. It's always there. So if you've got something really wonderful happening in your life or something tragic, it's going to affect the way you do your work. So we have to acknowledge that and support it. And there's one thing that is not on this list that I firmly believe in.
There might be the 14 factors,
And that's humor.
Oh,
Finding the humor in even the most stressful situation. I think that is often what we do. It's probably why we have the swear jar. But anyway, finding the humor diffuses a lot of stressful situations. And we do have stress because we have deadlines. We have books that aren't up to snuff when we get them. We have grants that we apply for all through the year. So it's just like one stressful situation after another. And I used to be a teacher. And so report card time was always the worst. And that's how I feel like these stressful points, like the grant applications that are huge and awful and just, you just want to pull your hair out. But it's funny too, because just the way we do them is kind of weird, but we have to laugh every now and again, because if we didn't, I think we'd cry. So I think humor is one of the things that I use to diffuse tense situations.
And I want to say that being with you this morning, I've experienced your humor. My cheeks are sore already. You've got great delivery and timing with your humor. And
I used to be an actor too, so.
No way. Like
yeah,
theater?
Community theater, mostly.
No way. And where would you have been on stage?
Well, I grew up in Lethbridge, and my first experience with acting was in high school. We did musicals, and after high school, I joined Lethbridge Musical Theater and did several plays with them. Moved to Stettler, and they have a community theater group there. So I was involved in that. I had been involved when we lived in Edmonton in another life, but not since. It's just something in my past that I treasure.
And you bring forward, like, you don't lose that part of your life, right?
Oh, no.
No, it's just an important phase of your life, but you bring who you are to the present phase of your life. And I want to thank you for sharing that with me. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at the fact that you performed in theater. I'm not surprised. You're very expressive, both with your body language and everything that you shared with me. I could go on and on and on about how wonderful you are. And that was the point this morning, was not necessarily it was in part was to give kudos to Faye, but the objective this morning was to introduce everybody to what does a positive workplace mental health environment consist of? Why is it a positive workplace mental health environment? And thank you, Faye. You totally rock. You totally rock. Now you're on LinkedIn, and people can find you at Faye, Faye Boer.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
And Folklore Publishing.
Folklore Publishing.
Folklore Publishing.
Sorry.
Okay.
Of course, my phone rings.
Listen, if this was at the beginning of COVID and your phone rang, we'd all feel embarrassed here. But here we are 2 years later, and you know what? It can happen on Zoom, and we just don't care anymore. We just don't care anymore.
It's true. The phone rings all the time. I'm surprised it hadn't rung earlier. So I should have put it on Do Not Disturb.
No, you're busy. You're busy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you'd like to say? A closing comment?
I don't think so. This has been a really nice chat that we've had. And I guess I'm glad that you've noticed my awesomeness. as well as what you're doing for positive workplace mental health. I mean, I think it's really important, especially now, because we've been through this very difficult, trying time period, and now it's kind of getting back to normal. So I think it's even more important to bring positive things to the workplace.
That's it.
Because people are going back in the office, they might not feel comfortable doing that. And it's up to the employer to make sure that their employees are comfortable again.
I totally want to thank you for that last point around employer responsibility. And we're not talking about 100% responsibility. Because
no, of course not.
No, because I could tell in the way that you shared stories today, there's a lot of good vibes going on between you and the family, the Workday family, right? And you kind of all share, in how the good vibes need to happen, right? Most significantly, you as a leader, you set in motion the idea that positive things need to happen in the workplace. And as a leader and a responsible owner, that is all part of being a business owner and taking that on. So I want to thank you very much for that. We're gonna post this somewhere on LinkedIn, and I I don't think any editing really needs to happen. When I hit the end button, you and I are gonna kind of like disappear. And I want to thank you for your time. I'll get back in touch with you. You rock. You really, really do. Keep on being awesome. Keep on being Faye. And I can't thank you enough for your time this morning.
No problem. Thanks so much.
No, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.